If I traded it all, if I gave it all.
So welcome back. All right, so my next guest is David Fisher. He is the CEO of Landmark Capital. Welcome to the show. Welcome back to the show. You've been on the show many, many times. And you were listening before when we had our little caller there. I want you to tell everybody, though, a little bit about yourself before we go into this fun show today. Go ahead.
It's going to be a crazy show. I already can tell.
I'm happy
it's
with
starting
that.
off
I love
this way.
that. I love it.
A little bit about myself. I've been in the precious metal industry for 22 years, have my own company. I'm the CEO and owner of Landmark Capital. We're here in Phoenix. We're a national company. We're accredited members with the BBB A+ rating. I've had my own radio program before many times. I've been on national radio, usually 2 to 3 times a week currently. My industry is busy. We're really busy. I just hired 3 new people today.
That's because you've been on all these radio shows, too.
Yeah. So we have similar things like the BBB in my industry that we abide by, which is called ICTA, Industry Council Tangible Asset, which is it's a watchdog. In essence, it watches the bad apples in my industry, and there's bad apples in every industry. But it also watches the bad things that the government does, and so it notifies us on when the government wants to do things like seizure of your wealth or anything to do with that. So we're members of ICTA, and to be at that level, you have to pass their criteria, and that's in essence the same as the BBB, which is in my industry. So we're also members of PCGS, NGC, grading company affiliates. We have a lot of credentials, and a lot of people endorse us. I currently have 5 national talk show radio hosts that want me on their program. I'm on it on a weekly basis. So that's a little bit about ourselves.
Look what's happened ever since we met.
It's all because of you, Carol.
Isn't it? No, but what's really great is that what I love about you more than anything is that not only you're so down to earth, is that you are all about just educating. It's not about anything other than that.
You know, I tell people when I meet them, if they come, like the guys that I brought and the lady, the nice receptionist that I brought on my company today, I said, you know, we all put our pants on the same way. We're all the same people. We just got maybe a different skin color, maybe a different background, but we're all the same makeup. We process information the same. And I'm all about helping people be properly educated, what gold does and what gold doesn't. And just to, you know, comment on the caller that called into
Go ahead.
David's program. And let me, David, Jim, if you're listening, you can call my office and we can talk more. But just to answer your question, no matter what investment you're in, if you're in stocks, bonds, mutual fund, annuities, or even gold, you're going to get paid out in dollars. So, yeah, the annuity is going to go up. And first of all, I'm not against annuities. In fact, annuities are probably a thing that you should have in your portfolio, especially in this type of economic uncertainty if you don't like the volatility of the stock market. And so I endorse the previous guest on your show. But don't have all your money in annuities, just like you don't have all your money in gold. Put a portion to 7, a portion to 8 is what their scripture says, because you do not know what tragedy may befall you. So nobody knows the future. I don't know it. But what we do know is this. The dollar went off the gold standard, and because of that, the dollar has deflated in value. And I don't think it's going to go to 0. I know a lot of my competitors say it's going to crash. No, hogwash. It's an impossible thing to crash. There's difference between it becoming worthless, 0, and worth less. It will become worth less over time.
Don't you love David? Go ahead.
Because it's not backed by anything tangible, like gold, which is a monetary system that's been around for 6,000 years. You can look at a direct value of the dollar of its purchasing power started to erode in 1971 when Nixon took us off the gold standard. And since then, if you bought a portion of your money, put a small amount of your money into gold, it would have hedged you during all these different economic times, no matter if we had a rise in the stock market or a fall in the stock market, recession, inflationary times. Gold was the asset that was there. And sometimes it was a must-needed thing, and sometimes you thought, maybe I don't really need it because everything's going great in the stock market. Well, not everything lasts forever. And that's why you have gold through the test of time. You also have annuities. You also have stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and some cash on the side. So you got to be well diversified. But what happens is people misunderstand gold, and so they just, because they don't understand it, they don't get involved in it. But gold is really a simple thing. It just is an insurance policy that also will protect you from these uncertainties, but it also could be a great investment. And that's why this year it's a #1 market mover in most economic environments, it has gone up 15%, while the Dow is up 1.5 to 2%.
And what you've done in your company, if you've made it possible for people to actually take possession, physical possession of that gold, and do it with your IRA, your IRA, and how to roll it over. Let's talk a little bit about that too, because we're going to give all this information for everyone. We want them to get connected with you. Go ahead.
We're in different economic times like we've never seen before. Can you imagine if we went back 15 years ago and we would never saw what we saw in Greece, in Portugal, in Ireland, in Poland, where they took 50% of the citizens' retirement. How about Cyprus, where they took between 10 to 90% of their money in the banking bail-in? So we have a thing that's now happened in 14 countries that has unfortunately become a very popular thing. When countries are upside down and they don't get a bailout, nobody comes to the rescue, they choose to bail in, which is what our country very unfortunately is moving towards. And this is being endorsed by the International Monetary Fund. They wrote a report on it. And all the things that I'm saying are in this eight-page report that I've detailed in great length. And you can Google it. It's all on the internet. It's on the government websites. They passed a law called the Dodd-Frank Act that changed the legal ownership of people's money. So we think, it's very important, very, very important with a $19 trillion debt that it's prudent to have some money in precious metals, not to have 100% of your money in paper assets. I'm not against paper. I'm just saying don't have 100% there. This is the trend of the world saying this is how we deal with debt.
Right. Now, but also you've made it unbelievably affordable as well.
Yeah, to do a rollover or transfer of your IRA or 401k costs nothing with our company, but to set the proper procedure up and have an LLC, it's $350 in state Arizona, $385. Most of our competitors who do the legal fees of this are $995 to $1995. So we've worked with an attorney for 6 years now, and he's very effective and knows what he's doing. So we can help a lot of people. They can roll over their IRA with no tax implications and take physical possession. You heard me right. You can hold your gold and silver in your hands in your retirement without a tax implication. It's not a distribution. And if they want to learn more about it, they can call my office and at 602-287-9200 or go to landmarkgold.com.
And you know what? We're going to also let you call in here. I got a frog in my throat. That you can get these from us because we just want you to have the information. That's what he's here for you to have this information. Our number here is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. Once you have that information, you do free consultations. You can talk to David, and then you can sort of make, obviously, an educated decision as to what you want to do.
Guess what the number one question I get asked?
What's that?
How do I spend my gold?
Yeah, how do you spend the gold? I could spend it very easily right now.
Okay, if I brought some gold coins here and I just gave them away to everybody in the studio.
It's not like it used to be in ancient times, right?
Gold is a chameleon. It once used to be a currency. It is no longer that. It is now a hedge against currency during inflationary time, during currency devaluationary times, and during now what we call government seizure. Because the Fed is chosen now, they can't raise rates. And in fact, there's a guy by the name of Robert Brusca who runs Fact and Opinion Economics. He was on CNBC, and he said the Fed's not going to raise rates probably through all this whole year. And that's what I've been saying. They're not going to raise rates. They can't. What are we going to have, another December 18th? What happened last year where the Dow drops 1,500 to 2,000 points, okay? But back to the most common misunderstanding about gold. If I ever gave everybody a small gold coin or silver coin and try to go to the grocery store,
right, they'd laugh
they
at
would
you.
look at you like a deer in headlights. Gold is not that, neither is silver. And it probably never will be in economic times moving forward because the dollar's not going to go away. The Fed's just going to print more of it, and we're going to continue to devalue our monetary system, and the cost of living is going to go up. So you have to have a hedge against that. So if our country will not put our currency on the gold standard, do it for yourself. That's why you buy gold.
And where do you go to sell the gold when you need the money?
Great question. You go to gold companies that you buy it from, like Landmark Capital, or any company that you have a relationship with. And if I encourage people, if you're looking at selling your gold, call around, call my company. If we can get you a better price, great. If not, go to get the best price.
His number is 602-287-9200. It's landmarkgold.com. Call in here and get the information at 602-277-5369. Elite Jewelry Alone is home of Elite Fine Jewelers, where you'll never pay retail prices again. New and previously loved fine jewelry at unbelievable savings. They have the largest selection of inventory in the Valley at wholesale prices. Designer jewelry, estate jewelry, watches, diamonds, bracelets, earrings, and much more. All diamonds are certified, which makes Elite Fine Jewelers the best place to purchase your engagement ring. Call 480-699-6639 or visit EliteJewelryandLoan.com.
Is depression weighing you down? Do you find yourself worrying about things that you have no control over? Take back the control and learn how to get rid of your self-defeating thoughts and behaviors. Hi, I'm Stephanie Levitt, owner of Pathways Counseling Services. Call me and get the tools needed to work through old, unhealthy ways of doing things. As the clinical director and owner of Pathways Counseling Services, I am an expert at helping patients feel hope again for their future. Located in Scottsdale, call 480-235-1682 and get a free 15-minute consultation. Call today. Are you struggling to pay your mortgage each month, upside down, or need to relocate? Linda and Shane at Keller Williams Realty East Valley may be able to help. Learn what your options are. Call 480-776-5227 and mention this ad for a free home valuation. Call 480-776-5227. They are experts in short sales and want to help you know your options. Mention this ad for a free home valuation. Call 480-776-5227.
Did you know the government has been making preparations to seize your retirement and bank accounts? Hi, David Fisher, CEO of Landmark Capital Gold Group. Get the facts, my new white paper titled, How to Protect Your Retirement and Bank Accounts from Government Seizure. I'll show you how to transfer your 401k or IRA into physical gold and silver and take physical possession. Call us today, 602-287-9200. That's 602-287-9200 or landmarkgold.com.
Scraps of Love is more than a scrapbooking store. We are a community of crafters. We offer paper crafts in all forms, from card making to Bible journaling and everything in between. Check out our classes with the best instructors in the Valley at scrapsoflove.com. Why keep your pictures in your phone? Bring them to life with Scraps of Love. Check us out online at scrapsoflove.com or give us a call at 623-972-0600. We are open Monday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Did you know your lifestyle determines your death style? If you're over 40 years of age, you have an 80% chance of dying of heart disease, stroke, cancer, or Alzheimer's. Hi, my name is Pete Deely, founder of A Well-Run Life. We are a new layer in healthcare. We want to retrain your taste buds and help you develop the healthy eating habits you need to live a well-run life. Call us at 602-717-7458 or go to awellrunlife.com. The best you is coming soon.
If I traded it all, if I gave it all away for one thing.
Welcome back. We're talking with David Fisher, CEO of Landmark Capital. And we've been a little bit crazy today, but really great. Love it because it's very much for the layman like me. If I understand it, then I know everybody else is too, you know. But one of the things that we were talking about before we went on to the break was that we were talking a little bit about how do you turn that gold into money? Because that's what I want. I want the cashola, you know. And we have our lines open here also, too, for everybody to get, you know, all his information. He's got his white paper that's the coming bail-in. We've talked a lot about that on my show, how to avoid it from affecting you. Also, we want you to have your IRA and having physical metals and taking possession with it with no tax liability. All the information on that. Our number here is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. I want the money. Show me the money, because if I don't have any, if they take all the money and I don't have any, and I got this gold, now what do I do with it?
Well, they're not going to take all your money. They're just going to devalue the currency and take portions of it through this government seizure.
I don't want them to have any of it. So
well, then you got to move some money out of paper, but you can't move all your money out of paper, and that's not the right thing to do, to put all your money into gold and have no money in paper assets like stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and annuities.
Right.
So balance. You got to be a balanced person. It's like, would you put all your money into your insurance in your house for fire? Of course not. But you would have enough money there just in case. Same with the car. You wouldn't buy a huge insurance policy on your life insurance, let's say, you know, instead of a car. You wouldn't just buy this enormous life insurance and ignore everything else. Of course not. You have a money in these different asset classes. And gold is not anything magical that anything else is not. It's just a different asset class. You're not going to take your annuity or a stock down to the grocery store. Neither are you going to take a gold coin. They all look at you like where'd you come from?
Right.
Okay. But you would liquidate your stock. You would liquidate your annuity, go to cash. You would liquidate your gold or your silver, go to cash. Now you take your money, go to the grocery store. It's just going to take more money in the future, mark my words, unless they change our monetary system, to buy a loaf of bread.
Well, and when you get these coins and you're taking physical possession of
Yes.
them, you said before we went to a break that when you go to sell it,
Yes.
you were just mentioning that you would go to your company where you bought it.
You go to a representative, a reputable metals company like myself.
Right.
And they would give you a price, it's called a bid, on what the value of those products would be worth. And if you want to sell, then you sell your metals and you walk out either with a check there. Depending on some companies, they want to wait 3 days. Some companies, if you're involved in an IRA and you liquidate, then the money goes to the trustee. Excuse me. Got the frog in my throat. You just flipped it over to me here. So I do speak for a living too, by the way.
I know you do.
I can't talk right now. Just that froggy thing. But anyway, so if you're going to liquidate your money through a retirement and you had precious metals, then you come to a precious metal company and they would liquidate your metals and they would send those funds to the trustee. And so now you're in your IRA, no longer in gold, you're in cash.
Well, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
You know, we've been coming on the show for a long time, and I'm not even sure if I've ever asked this, but to me, when you talk, it makes a lot of sense. And of course, you're not telling everybody to do all of one thing. You're telling them to be diversified, which also, to me, makes sense. Why, then, do people even question it?
Because the media doesn't understand gold, and the media, gold competes with the traditional investments. You're never going to hear Fidelity come out with a commercial saying, "Come call us today. You can buy gold from us." No, you can buy stocks and bonds and mutual funds, and they don't understand gold. It's like a whole different venue. It's like the general practitioner doesn't understand, what a cardiologist would do, but you certainly need them if you're going to have a heart attack. And if we have a financial calamity like we had in 2008, people were very thankful they had gold in their portfolio because it went up 72% the first year and a multi-year run in gold.
Well, let me ask you too, let's talk about this too, because when people are listening to you and they want to do this, I want them to hear again, for anyone that might have at the break just coming in, how you can get them that physical possession.
I want to make sure that everybody understands I love our country. I hate what it's doing, and I'm scared to death because never have we been in a crossroads in our country's history with our debt structure. And we just think, it'll all get taken care of. The next person in office will take care of it. Well, at some point, that ideology will work against us. And now we're at the tipping scales, in my opinion, and many economists, when people on CNBC, mainstream media, start saying these things, and I'm not the only force out there saying this, and banks are more leveraged than any other time in history in our country. They're 2.5 times more leveraged than they were in 2007, which caused the whole problem with Lehman Brothers. Mm-hmm. We better wake up and say there is a brewing financial problem coming. And that's why in those environments, you pull back from the market. And maybe that makes sense to put your money in annuity and do some of that. That's when that, to me, makes a lot of sense. And also buy gold. And those two things would make sense, and maybe put some money in cash, but not trying to play this market, because this is a crazy market. So how you do this is you get ready, because there's going to be a financial calamity, in my opinion, coming, and you make changes. Part of the changes is roll over some portion of your retirement and get physical possession, get some money off the table on the stock market, maybe annuity, maybe some other asset classes, but do not fight the trends. The trends are gold is going up. Stocks are not moving in a clear current direction.
Why is it also so important to come to somebody who's local like you, as opposed to there's a lot of things, you can even see it on TV or on the internet? What's the difference?
Most people in my industry pressure people into buying gold, and they would have been on the radio telling them what kind of coin they should buy within 5 minutes. We haven't even talked about that. So we build a financial blueprint on what is best for them. It's based upon their philosophy, their beliefs, how old they are, and what their risk tolerances are. And from there, this interactive conversation, we help them discover what their choices are, and they make those choices, not us. So they're empowered with knowledge to make a choice that's sound financial advice for them. And so this is what separates us many ways from the rest of the competitors out there. And in our buyback policy, we don't charge any commissions. Most companies charge 2 to 8%. We have lower spreads in the industry compared to most. And our fees for rolling over IRAs, there is none. And we on the legal side of it, it's the cheapest in the industry. So from all aspects, wouldn't you rather work with a person that's going to educate you and not pressure you and then help you understand and say, well, here's what your choices are based upon you? Let's do something. And that's the type of industry that, unfortunately, everybody should be like in my industry. But it doesn't work that way. Some people say if I just pressure the person, they'll eventually break down and buy. That's the opposite of us. We are all about education, all about relationship building. I can go on and tell you countless things that people have said to me and thanking me and my company for them being helped and not being pressured. In fact, I'll say I've had 100% track record on a national level. The people have called in and then called back to the talk show host, said, your company was so helpful and never pressured me, and I was able to see what I was supposed to do for myself.
Check him out on his website. It is landmarkgold.com. His phone number is 602-287-9200. He does free consultations with everyone, and I'm going to let everyone call throughout the rest of the show. Too, with his white paper, it's the coming bail-in, how to avoid it from affecting you. Also, you want to have your IRA having physical possession of those metals and taking possession of it with no tax liability. He's got it all written in a 123, as easy as 123 for everybody. Our number here is 602-277-5369, and toll free it's 1-866-536-1100. What should be our final closing? We have a few minutes. 2 minutes.
At
what
the front of the report. Let's go to the very front of this report that I'm giving out. It talks about some ways that they're going to fix our economic situation. One is default. Let's just walk away from this. Donald Trump talked about that. That would be economic financial chaos. And I'm not for what Hillary is saying either, or Bernie. So I don't know.
So we're really
we're in a world
trouble.
of hurt. Okay, raise taxes, cut spending. The age-old battle that we've been talking about for a decade and a half now. And yet it's never gone out of control. It's just kept growing. Now we're 19. It'll be 20 to 21 and a half, or almost $21 trillion when Obama leaves office. So that doesn't work. Inflate. The Fed is trying to inflate. Look at what's happened in the stock market. So they can't do what they think they need to do to take care of this debt issue, to inflate our currency, to pay down the debt with inflated, worth less dollars, not worthless, worth less dollars, okay? Mm-hmm. This is why the fifth thing is what I wrote about in this white paper is in detail, this bail-in. We've been forced as a country and as a world now to deal with our debt through seizure of assets has become a popular thing, and it's already been done in 14 countries. Our country is moving aggressively, and we have a theory here. If you take care of your money now, then it will be there to take care of you later. And that's what this is all about, just preparing. People feel it already. They sense what I'm saying resonates in their spirit, their gut. It makes sense. So act upon that. Get some education. Call our company. We'll help you understand. And if people say it's really not for me, then we'll part ways and we'll say, God bless, it's really not for you. If you ever want to learn more about this, come back to us.
Give him a call. The phone number is 602-287-9200. That website is landmarkgold.com. If you want the information, we've got it here, 602-277-5369.